All right. Good evening. It's Friday. It's Friday night. TGIF. It is Friday night. Welcome to another episode of Book Club with Caden Kelly. I am Caden Kelly. This is a podcast where I read books and then I talk about them, and it's all in an effort to be the healthiest, wisest, uh, um, healthiest, wealthiest, wisest, and most peaceful person I can become. Whoa, that was hard. Almost forgot my mantra. I read a different nonfiction book every week. I talk about it here to keep myself accountable, and I also like to share it because I want to help inspire whoever listens to do the same for themselves, to be healthy, happy, wise, and at peace. I usually do this Mondays, sometime in the afternoon, sometimes in the morning. But if you listened to my podcast last week, Endure, I talked about how I was in Boston last week, so I was a week behind. I'm a week behind. I'm catching up, doing a Friday night podcast, because what else is there to do on a Friday night when you're an adult, huh? When you're 26 and you work a 9 to 5, and I normally got my coffee. Tonight I got a Michelob Ultra. So cheers to each of you. Friday night. This one's for you. We'll probably kill a couple of those. We'll see. My computer just told me I need an update, so hopefully I don't freeze while I'm doing this podcast. But in any case, my PC doesn't currently meet the minimum system requirements to run Windows 11. That's all right. That's nice because I just bought this a couple years ago, so obviously it's not current enough. Hey, well, thanks for tuning. If you tune in at all, then I appreciate you for supporting me. But if you don't come here for me at all, and you come here because you want to improve yourself, then I'm proud of you, and I do this for us. I do this for me to be accountable to me. But if there are those of you who are listening, I get a lot of consistent listeners, and I don't know who you are, and I appreciate you. And if there's anything that I can do to make this podcast better or more applicable, I love the feedback. I get a little bit of feedback, and whatever recommendations or suggestions you have, even book recommendations, I'll take them. I got a long list. The list just keeps growing of books to read. Eventually it'll run out, and I think eventually I'll probably run out, get sick of reading books. But whatever. So here we are. Let's just get right into it then, huh? Go check out my blog, cadenkellysblog.wordpress.com. That's got access to all of my socials, where I sometimes write in a blog, but not really anymore, and sometimes make TikToks, but not really anymore. And mostly I just do this. And I have a second podcast where it's basically this podcast, but in 15 minutes or less, and it's called Here's the Point with Caden Kelly. So if you are listening to this now and it's already dragging on, I cut through all the bullshit and I get to the major points of the book, and I do it in 15 minutes or less for your convenience. So for now, we're here probably for an hour, but it's also Friday, and this book was all right. So for those of you who have been listening since day one, my first step podcast ever was called Cook's Burps, because I drank a whole bottle of Cook's champagne and I couldn't stop burping. Whatever. So last week, I read Your Money or Your Life by Vicki Robin and Joe Dominguez. 9 steps to transforming your relationship with money and achieving financial independence. Fully revised and updated for 2018. And if I'm right, this book was originally written by both. Copywritten 1992 by Vicki Robin and Joe Dominguez. I thought it was just Joe. He died in 1997, and Vicki Robin has continued the legacy. And I don't think there's a bio of either of them, and I kind of want to see if I could find something, because that's what I do, and it's nice to give credit to our authors. So, Vicki Robin. Her website's going to be a little biased, but I guess that's all right. I'm an author, speaker, writer, strategic meddler, social innovator, improv actor, wanderer, and wanderer. That's Vicki Robin. Oh, look, this is a wonderful book. It can really change your life. But that's a review by Oprah. Vicki Robin is a prolific social innovator, writer, and speaker. She is co-author with Joe Dominguez of this book. You gonna give me more? No? Oh, there's a whole... Oh, here's a short bio. Prolific social innovator, writer, and speaker. She's co-author of this book. Author of Blessing the Hands That Feed Us, Lessons from a 10-Mile Diet. She is co-founder of Conversation Cafes and of the 10-Day Local Food Challenge. A lot of food books. And then she starts talking about money. All right, that's enough of Vicki. Who's Joe Dominguez. Joe Dominguez was a successful financial and analyst on a Joe Dominguez was a successful financial analyst on Wall Street before retiring at the age of 31. Whoa. By following the 9-step program he formulated for himself, taught for many years, and presented in Your Money or Your Life, which he co-wrote with his partner, Vicki. So he knows a shit ton about money, it sounds like, and Vicki knows a shit ton about food. So that's where we're at. Shall we get on with it? Joe Dominguez and Vicki Robin. All right. So you might be wondering, is this another book that's written in 3 parts? Well, it's not. This one is written in 9 chapters because it has 9 steps. Simple enough. And if you missed it, the point of this book is not to give you more money, but to change your relationship and perspective of money. The point of this book is not to give you more money, but to change your relationship and perspective of it. But maybe you're saying, well, I want more money. Well, there's pros and cons that come with wanting more money, and I think it's mostly a con it's mostly con to want more money, because I think the point is you should be able to make do with what you've got, but if you really don't have enough, then there are ways to spend less and save more and make a little more. I'm going to turn this on so I don't forget. All right. Chapter 1, The Money Trap. She talks a lot about consumerism and how we spend money in today's society. I think Vicky Robin read the audiobook, so that's where she comes from. We think we work to pay the bills, but end up using the money we make to buy lots of non-necessities and end up with a lot less than we need for bills. She echoes messages from other books about consumerism, upgrading phones unnecessarily, wanting more, and getting is never enough to satisfy, including eternal economic growth. Okay, lots of different points right there, but basically, our society is constructed to consume. So, how do you? What's your relationship? How many of you are always upgrading to the new iPhone every year? Because I'm on like an every other year schedule, and I intentionally skipped the last couple years because one of my buddies got the 12 before I could, and said it's the exact same as the 10 or the 11. I think I had the 11. And so I said, screw that. I'm not going to get the 12. And now the 13 is out, and there's a pretty remarkable difference in the screen from the 13 to the 11, from the 11 to the 13. But I haven't got the 13. I think I will get the 14, though, because I'm still a consumer. But the point is, do you upgrade a perfectly good phone for another phone? This is consumerism at its root. Buying shit that you don't need, and we're led to believe. We're not even led to believe, but we're just constantly bombarded with products and services to buy all the time to make our life that much more convenient and comfortable. She said there's three the three sirens of consumerism are comfort, convenience, and control. So with those three, if you're trying to sell anything, a service or a product, if you can hit people's comfort, convenience, and control buttons, you're gonna speak volumes to them. So, but anyway, that's I talked about who was the there was a whole I remember a story about the Macy's parade and something about consumerism from another book, but I don't remember what the book was, so I'm going to move on. So that's chapter 1. Step 1 is making peace with the past. So if you're going to take these steps literally, the first step is to find out how much money you've made your entire life and to find your net worth with a balance sheet of all your assets and liabilities. This is step 1. Chapter 2. Money ain't what it used to be, and it never was. We sell our time for money. Your time, the hours of your life, is your only real asset. Your time is where all meaning and value lie. Your time is an asset. It's not even just an asset, but it's your most valuable resource as well. How you spend your time is how will determine the quality of your life, basically. If you spend your time doing things that you don't enjoy, you're gonna lead a pretty miserable life. So instead of the point of this is, instead of thinking that you're trading your time, how would she say it? Basically, your time is more valuable than money. And we think that we work for money, but we're really trading our time, or she calls it life energy, for currency, for money, for whatever reason. But whenever you go to a job, you're trading time for, $17 an hour. Is your time really worth $17 an hour? I don't think anybody's time. I I think all of our time is invaluable. The thing is, we have created a society where we need currency to survive. We need money to pay the bills and this and that and blah blah blah. So we can't. Well, at the same time, even if it wasn't for money, humans for our entire history have worked and struggled to survive. The truth is that we live in a world now where we've never been so comfortable or we've never been in a place like we are today. We have, and I've said so much about the comforts of life with our electricity and the air conditioning that's blowing on me right now, and cell phones and all of our crap, cars, refrigerators, dishwashers, all of our modern day conveniences. Um, we live an incredibly comfortable life, but the only way we can get those things is by trading our time. All of it comes down by trading our time for money, trading our time for whatever it is that we're trying to buy. So how do you spend your time? This is a really good question. Step 2 of the program, being in the present, tracking your life energy. Establish the actual costs in time and money in order to maintain your jobs and compute your real hourly wage. Well, that's the thing. Compute your real hourly wage. If you go to work for $20 an hour, but you buy lunch every day for $10, or you pack lunch for $5, and it takes $5 of gas to get to work, $5 back. It takes this much. She's saying, how much money do you spend at your job, and then deduct that from what you're actually making, and that'll tell you what you're actually making hourly. Point number 2 of step 2 is keep track of every cent that comes in and goes out of your life. Quote, if you want this to be a worthwhile undertaking, it's worth your while to do it right. I was going to try to do all of this before I did this podcast, but I, excuse me, I was not married to this book. I'm also really busy doing other things that I think, I'm working, trading my time for money. And there's some parts of the book that I don't agree with, and we'll get to it. Some things that are just, they're in direct opposition to some other money books that we've read. But I'll just keep going. Chapter 3, where is it all going? Cheers. Here's some more beer. Oh, and my fridge is stocked. All right. Chapter 3, where's it all going? Your success depends on your honesty and integrity. I said she's talking about goal tracking, but this is generally applicable to all areas of life. Your success depends on your honesty and integrity. Have you ever used the Under Armour MyFitnessPal food tracking app? Because that app has, or if you've ever tried to lose weight, that's an awesome app to use. And it tracks every calorie you've burned, and also every calorie you've consumed, so that you can find your net calorie deficit or surplus to see if you're gaining or losing weight. And the hardest part to me, I got the burps now. The hardest part is you got to be really honest with yourself about what you're doing, or what you're eating, how you're exercising, because it's easy to fib both ways. Maybe you have you pour a generous serving of cereal, where if a serving is like half a cup, you pour half a cup into a thing, but it spills over into the bowl and it's mounded, and you just pour it. So you're getting almost a full cup, right? But you only track half a cup. Your success, and just like Cameron Hanes said, and he didn't say this, but he quoted it, and it's what I thought of. How you do anything is how you'll do everything. So if you are lazy about counting your calories, you're going to be lazy about tracking your money, spending your money. You're going to be lazy about it all. And then you're going to wonder where the fuck it all went. So, your success in all areas of your life depends on your honesty and your integrity. So, chapter 3 is monthly tabulation. And I said to find these, I don't know if this is super important. Yeah. Every month, she says it's time to, it's important to track where your money goes. Let's see. All right. Here's a sample of a monthly tabulation form. Food, shelter, utilities, clothing, health, and recreation. Transportation, other. It's like a balance sheet. It's your expenses versus your assets, against your assets. Income, bonuses, tips, interest, loans. Yeah, and to be very specific and very honest. That's the only way you'll be able to see how successful you are at, or how, like where your vulnerability is when you're trying to improve your financial situation. It's the only way to really see. You got to be honest with how you're spending your money, how you're saving your money. Yeah, it's pretty clear. I'm going to move on. But first, I'm going to do another beer. These 6/23/2021. Is this still good to drink? How old are these seltzers? It's Westwater, though, it's going to be good. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's just water and fermented sugar. Like, that's not going to spoil. But if it does, I'll let you know. Chapter 4, how much is enough? Step 4, there was no prologue. Step 4, 3 questions that will transform your life. All right, then listen up. 1, did I receive fulfillment, satisfaction, and value in proportion to the life energy I spent? 2, is it the spender of the life energy? Is it the spender of life energy? I fucking suck at taking notes. Is it the spender of life energy in alignment with my values and life purpose? What am I trying to say? Is the spender of life energy? I'm going to fucking find the question. Sorry. Chapter 4, right? Step 4. Let's see. Question 2. Yeah. Question 2. Is the expenditure of life energy in alignment with my values and life purpose? I wasn't even close. Oh, because I probably did the voice chat and it wasn't even close. Is this expenditure of life energy in alignment with my values and life purpose? Question 3. How much does this expenditure change if I didn't have to work for money? Yeah, this is really important, especially I've been in jobs that I don't love. I engaged in summer sales. I did a 2-year Mormon mission. I did college for 3 years. I was I was like a grounds carpet cleaner for 3 years before I moved up in the company. A lot of hard work where I wasn't really stoked on life. And there's this strange dichotomy where, maybe you say, if the question is, did I receive fulfillment, satisfaction, and value in proportion to the life energy I spent? Maybe the answer is no. Maybe I didn't receive fulfillment, satisfaction, and value. Um, Maybe it was a drag, and a lot of times it is a drag. So how do you reconcile that? I think that the way you reconcile feeling shitty at your job is either you need to get a new job or you need to get a new attitude. And most of the time, I bet it's you need to get a new attitude. Uh, and I'm not going to spoil, but I am reading a yoga book that talks about this. And you know that the yogis and the Stoics, they have this, they have their philosophy, and it's very similar. You can't control your life. You can't control your life circumstances, but you can always control your attitude. And you can kind of control your job. You can't always just quit and go looking for a new job every week just because you get upset. And you shouldn't go find a new job every week because something rubs you the wrong way, or they need a little extra help or shorter breaks or whatever it is, a little harder labor. Most of the time, your peace of mind rests within your attitude, how you perceive this external event. So I think about, having these shitty jobs, and they weren't even that shitty. I was just kind of growing up and maturing, and it just takes some maturity to say this is exactly where I want to be, but I can make the best of it. I can find value in this, and I really am. It's not deteriorating my quality of life. I'm just kind of being a pussy about the labor. If it's different if you are coerced to serve a Mormon mission, but you just absolutely don't believe in the doctrine, but you're forced to go. That's different. I believed in the church when I went. It was just hard work. You just gotta, you get up early, you work hard all day, and you go to bed. There's no free time. There's no nothing. It's summer sales. It's the same thing. You get up, you knock on doors, talking about pest control, and you go to bed. There's just no leisure, no leisure. You just kind of, those aren't terrible situations to be in, but they're not. They weren't forever, and I stuck them out, and I did poorly, fiscally. I did poorly, but I stuck them out, and I learned some good lessons. I'm able to talk about my experience now, so it wasn't a waste of time. It just isn't how I want to continue the rest of my life. Well, I guess that's why you should ask yourself question number 2. Is this expenditure of life energy in alignment with my values and life purpose? If it's not, you should seek a new line of work. You should find something that does go in line with your values and life purpose. How many times have I talked about values? And then the third question again was, how much does this expenditure change if I didn't have to work for money? And I think the question is, it shouldn't change at all. And this goes hand in hand with the question a little while ago. I can't remember which book it was, but the question was, if you were the last person on earth, what would you do with your time? This is the same thing. Are you doing what you do today because you do it for money, or do you do it because you enjoy it? It brings you life satisfaction, life purpose. It's in line with your values. Or do you do it just because you need the money, just because you want the status? What do you do it for? Because it's convenient? What do you do it for? If you're the last person on earth, would you continue to do it? How does this expenditure change if you didn't have to work for money? So, in a perfect world, you love the job that you do. You don't have to do it for money. You just get paid because you love it. It's in line with your values and life purpose, and you receive fulfillment, satisfaction, and value in proportion to the life energy spent for that thing. That's a perfect world, but I think very few people fully realize that. Chapter 5, getting it out in the open. Cheers to this expired Westwater hard seltzer, sweet and tropical mango. Oh yeah, here we go. Step 5, making life energy visible. She talks about how getting out of debt is financial independence. Literally, yeah, it is. And I said, doesn't Robert Kiyosaki say that since money is a currency, you have to spend it? You have to spend it, it will be. Edgar isn't note that, but call him too. fuck this note thing, bro. Same thing with savings. She says to save more. Kiyosaki says to spend more. Money is a currency. Yeah, well, I know what I'm saying, but I don't know why the note is so jacked up. Robert Kiyosaki say that since money is a currency, you have to spend it. It will be. Edgar isn't note that, but call him too. Yeah, the money is, Kiyosaki from Rich Dad Poor Dad says money got taken off the gold standard in like the 60s or 70s or something. Now it has no intrinsic value. It just is. It's a currency. It has value because we agree it has value, and that's why the price of it fluctuates so rapidly. You could just pump money. You could pump it into the economy by printing it like crazy, and it will inflate like crazy and lose value. And that's what happens year after year. This currency always inflates and lose value over time. So Kiyosaki says that's the last thing you want to do is save money. You want to spend it on real assets. And Kiyosaki's, and I think most people's go-to real asset is real estate. So whatever. She says to save it, but financial independence is literally not being drowned in debt or having any debt. But yeah, that's what I said here at the end. She says to save it and to get out of debt. Kiyosaki and some other guys that I've listened to, you gotta borrowing people's money and spending it on smart investments is the best way to find financial independence, financial freedom. Instead of working hard for your own money, there's people that are willing to give you money in exchange for interest and whatever, equity. But you borrow the government's money, borrow institutions' money, borrow private companies' money for your own projects, do your projects, make money from your projects, and pay them dividends for the money that they lent to you. Anyway, some controversy there, and I tend to lean towards Kiyosaki's logic. I think they're kind of saying the same thing. Later on, she'll talk about investments too, but right here, she's explicitly saying save money and get out of debt. But Kiyosaki's like borrow other people's money and get into a lot of debt and don't save a currency because it's financial lunacy. Chapter 6, The American Dream on a Shoestring, except my note said shoe strong. This chapter is all about being frugal. Step 6, value in your life energy, minimizing your spending. This is this is the ultimate guide to being a cheapskate. Being frugal, yes. It's important. It's good to not spend money on things that you don't need. But the whole time I listened to this chapter, I was like, this is the most cheapskate-y book I've ever listened to. Most cheapskate content I've ever listened to. The surest way to save money and be frugal. Stop spending money to impress other people. Ding, ding, ding. That's me to the T. I bought Wave Runners because I thought it would be fun to get my friends together and go to the lake, and it turns out that nobody gives a fuck that you have Wave Runners. And then you got to spend all the money to maintain them and keep them, get them on the water and this and that, and nobody cares, and people barely pitch. It's just a financial waste tank. So I sold the fucking things. Fuck those toys. I'm learning how to not spend money to impress other people because that's just ego, and every day I'm still trying to kill my ego. That's a bitch. It's a bitch if I've ever fought one. So that's the surest way to be frugal, though. Stop spending money to impress other people. Only spend your money on things that you and your family really need. Let's see. She said there's 10 best ways to save. I said read these in the book. The American Dream on a Shoestring. Well, she doesn't have these exactly in a list, but here we go. Don't go shopping is number 1. I did say develop a discipline to only buy what you need. Yes, you and your family did. All these rules are just about being mindful. making mindful decisions. Don't be mindless. Don't let life happen to you. Take control of your life. Remember who says you must have awareness. That's the yoga philosophy and the Stoic philosophy. You got to be that way with your money too. Be mindful of how you spend your money. That's all these steps are. That's all this book is. Don't let don't let the world's consumerism attitude drown you. Don't fall prey to the propaganda to buy things that you don't need. Only buy things that you actually need. That's just being mindful. It's being smart with your money. It's instead of getting bent over by the man, put up a little fight. The first step to saving money, don't go shopping, live within your means. That's the exact opposite of what Kiyosaki says. Well, not literally. He says that he doesn't want to live in his means or within his means. Rather, I think he says he doesn't want to lower his means. He wants to, have the things that he wants. So instead of learning how to save and cut back on spending, his attitude is, I want to learn how to make more money so I can afford the things that I want. And I like that attitude as well. Rather than cutting back on spending, I would rather learn how to make more money to spend more for the things that I want without being too greedy, or flamboyant. Again, don't spend your money to impress other people. You don't need much. You could have an expensive taste for whatever reason. At the end of the day, you get to decide however you want to spend your money. I don't need like crazy stuff. I like to have nice stuff. I would love to have a nice truck, a nice house, nice equipment, nice carpet cleaning gear. I'd like to have all the nice stuff. I don't need all of it. I just like to have nice stuff. It's a little more expensive taste. So I'd rather learn how to make more money to buy the things I want rather than to save and live below my means. Number 3, take care of what you have. I agree. 4, wear it out. I agree. 5, do it yourself. I kind of agree. Celeste Headley says it might be more worth your time to spend your loose cash on household tasks so you have more leisure time, because you go to work for 40 hours a week, 50 hours a week, and then you come home and you have to mow the lawn and do the dishes and catch up on laundry and get your car repaired and everything else, and then you're back to work and you get no leisure time. She says it might be well worth your time to invest some money that you make into other people working. It will fuel the economy that way. It'll provide jobs, opportunity. If you pay a plumber to fix your pipes instead of spending the weekend trying to fix your pipes, it could be worth your time to hire a landscaping company or a housemaid to clean the house, do the lawn. So you have the leisure time. So you could do it yourself, but I'm a pretty much DIYer. But I like the idea, if you're, I'm not super bombarded with my work. I am right now, but with, I have my work life mostly under control. I'm able to spend a lot of time doing the things I like in my garden, in my yard, on my house, this and that. 6, anticipate your needs. Yes, be aware. Don't be mindless. Anticipate things that are coming up so you could save for those things and prepare for them. 7, research value, quality, durability, multiple use, and price. Sure. 8, buy it for less. Like go to Ross. Sure, if that suits your fancy. 9, meet your needs differently. I don't know. I don't remember what that means. 10, follow the 9 steps of the program. That's she's selling her own book. Chapter 7, for love or money. Cheers. She talks more about how America has established its economy to be consumerism, increasing work hours so Americans would consume more, automating craftsmanship in factories during the Industrial Revolution. This lowered the quality of life of the people. Yeah, I remember how back in the day, you need your shoes repaired. You'd go find a craftsman that would fix your shoes. But now, since shoes are made they're made a wholesale, by machines, so they cost very little. It puts the craftsman out of work. That's the Industrial Revolution. And it's destroyed quality of life for workers around the world. Who you are and how you make money should be separate. Disconnect your work from wages. You are not your job. Money is only what you trade your life energy for. Yes, I already talked about this. I'm running out of steam. Fucking Friday night. Come on. But yes, money is only what you trade your life energy for. It better damn well be worth it. Step 7, valuing your life energy, maximizing your income. Job satisfaction lies in the worker, not in the work. That's your attitude. Are you, job satisfaction lies in the worker, not in the work. It can be hard, grueling work, door-to-door sales, construction work, whatever. But you can have a good attitude. If you're being worked like slave labor, that'll be gruesome and hard to do. But it's if as long as it's all the parameters are safe and you're compensated properly, it's mostly up to your attitude. Just like back in the day when I was a little kid and Saturday mornings would roll around and the old man would want to go pull weeds and do the yard work and you'd complain, but it's not that. It was like just a couple hours of pulling weeds and mowing the grass and trimming the bushes and whatever. And it was always a fight to get all of us boys out there to do the yard. And it was not, it was all in your attitude. Job satisfaction lies in the worker, not in the work. I said read the last couple paragraphs of this part. The only reason we have a paid job is to get paid. Chapter 7, Step 7. It's before Chapter 8. So, that means we're looking right. I don't know if this is it. I'm just going to start reading right here. Step 7 is simply valuing your life energy and increasing your income, because the only purpose of paid employment is getting paid. You do this not out of greed or competition, but out of self-respect and an appreciation for life. As a byproduct, you might well find yourself with less debt, more savings, more free time, more energy on the job, more energy off the job, more satisfied clients, a more satisfied family, and more peace of mind. Beautiful. Yeah, I think that was it. Chapter 8, Catching Fire. Step 8, Capital and the Crossover Point. Yeah, this was the investing chapter, and all I said was to read this or check out the summary. Each month, apply the following equation. No, stupid equation. Sheesh. What ideas, practical or too wild, do you have about how you'd pay off all your debt? No, I don't think this is it. I don't know where that came from. In Chapter 9, Step 9, I didn't write anything. I must check out. I think it's kind of a common thing. The last chapter, I got nothing to say. Kind of check out. Yeah, that's it, man. 45 minutes. I'm gonna just give it. I didn't love this book. There were a lot of things that I disagreed with. I like the Robert Kiyosaki attitude more about learning how to make more money rather than just kind of giving in. But also, I accept and I appreciate it's about your attitude. It's not about the amount of money you make. You won't be happier just because you have more money. You need to learn to be content with the amount of money that you have and to make do with what you have. Remember that there's that line where it's like after like $90,000 if $90,000 of annual income is like the base, or it's like the optimal amount of money for happiness and income. Less money than that has a dramatic decline in happiness, and more money than $90,000 a year has very subtle increase in happiness and has a little drop off point at a point because you become a loser with your money and do some stupid stuff with it probably. So you still you should learn how to make enough and save enough to be smart with your money. They say you should always have 3 months let's see, you should have 3 months of life expenses saved in your bank account in case there's an emergency. She says it's best to have 6 months, but 3 months is general rule of thumb. You should learn how to make enough money and save your money well enough so that you can take care of yourself for the now and for the future. And at a certain point, it's not about the money; it's about your attitude. Absolutely, but because of the world that we live in, a lot of shit comes and goes because of how we work and spend our life energy. You can live without AC, and you can live a good life without. A lot of people live life happily without air conditioning. But we have access to air conditioning in America and in a lot of places around the world, and it's pretty affordable if you work your job and are responsible with your money. So you can have things to have a comfortable life, and then you can, if you're smart enough and you are wise enough and you invest in whatever and make a little extra money, you could start buying bigger TVs and an extra car and some like if you love, I don't know, mountain biking, you could get a really nice mountain bike. You could just start investing or buying things that you like. You could get those wave runners that you love. If you love wave running, I don't. I just bought them because I thought they'd be fun with my friends. In any case, Your Money, Your Life by Vicki Robin and Joe Dominguez. It's pretty good. Not my favorite, but it's pretty good. Next week, here we go. Probably Monday, I'll be discussing The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, a guide to spiritual enlightenment. This is a long time coming and very highly rated. The Power of Now will be exciting to read. But for now, takeaway for this, you could follow those steps very closely to take control of your financial life and to gain financial independence, financial freedom, and you'll there's a lot more peace that comes with having your money under control. You don't need to have the answer isn't having all the money. It's about knowing how to handle your money and your attitude towards money. So, that was the point of the book. So, the application is you can either take those steps literally or you can start making smaller steps and just figure out how how do you spend your money? What's your relationship with money like? Do I spend my money to impress my friends? Do I spend it on a bunch of nonsense like fast food every night instead of learning how to budget and cook and, do appropriate things? Am I throwing it in the wrong places or am I using it wisely? So this week, get the fuck out there and go be smart with your money and maybe take on a new money habit to help you either save it better or invest it better. I suck at both. I don't have a specific savings plan and I don't have a specific investing plan. And that's what I'm doing this podcast for, is so I can have a wealthier life. That's my mantra: health, wealth, wise, and peace. So that's why I read the books and I got the notes and I think about it all the time. And I wish I could just not work and spend 24/7 on health, wealth, wisdom, and peace. And probably eventually I will. That's not very encouraging. Probably eventually. If it was important enough to me, I would just do it. And I haven't just done it yet. So anyway, that's the point though. So go challenge yourself with your money. Be smarter with your money. And there's peace that comes with not having all the money, but just knowing how to control it. Knowing what's within your budget, having the discipline to only buy what you need, not you spending your money to impress other people. Find your weaknesses, exploit them, and then improve them. And you'll be happier for it. Okay, see you in a few days for the next book. We're all cut up. So Friday night, cheers. It was I'm fucking tired. And but we just show up. We got to show up when we don't want to if we want to get closer to our goals. Trying to be accountable to you, being accountable to me. Sometimes it's not the best, but if we don't feel the best, but we show up anyway. We do the work. So, thanks for listening. Find me on my blog, CadenKellysBlog.wordpress.com. Find me on my socials. You can find my other podcast. It's 15 minutes that I'm going to record right now. But I'm going to do it off the air, or not live, rather, so I could focus on the 15 minutes. And, yeah, turn on those notifications if you want to, get notified that I'm live. You could contribute to the chat if you have any questions, whatever. Have a good one. Enjoy your weekend. Cheers. See you later.
しているだけがで読み直しているで読み直している